It's time for Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Sean Anderson for Ponca City Public Schools. And on this edition, Daniel Wood, the head coach of the Pohai Lady Cats softball team, our special guest. Coach Wood, a rebuilding season for the Lady Cats softballers. Would you describe it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's been a 2 year rebuilding process. Just we were pretty young last year, and we're still starting 3 and 4 freshmen every game. So we're still trying to build up. So
yeah, well, regionals held recently in Shawnee, and you played Shawnee and Bixby. It was a tough regionals. Tell us about it.
It was a really tough one, and it was a situation where, going against Shawnee, they have probably one of the best pitchers in the entire state. And they've got a couple girls that, already signed to Division I schools. So they're going to be tough, and they'll be one of the best teams in the state tournament this week. Bixby was a team that I felt like we matched up really well against. And we played really good up until about the 5th inning, and then we kind of let some mistakes get to us and let some stuff snowball on us, and it got out of hand. So it was a situation where if you're watching the game, it's really close until about the 6th, and both of those games we're playing without our starting shortstop and our starting center fielder. So we ended up having to take our catcher, put her at second base, which she hasn't done since last year, and stick freshman back behind the plate. So we had some people playing out of position, and when that happens, ball finds you, and I felt like we did a good job of working out of some situations early, and it's a close ball game. I think it was 3-3 going into the 6th, and then we kind of made a couple mistakes, and you can't do that against good teams. They started running away with it. So.
Right. So, Coach Wood, highlight some of the players for us. A couple of seniors I know on the team, and then I want to talk about some of the stat leaders for the season. But let's start with the seniors.
Yeah, two seniors, Libby Clark and Tori Freeman. Being able to coach both those girls the last 2 years have been awesome. Both of them I feel like have come a long ways. Libby threw the majority of the innings this year for us, and she's an absolute competitor and a bulldog when she's on the mound for us, and she always goes out and she gives us a shot. She not overpowering stuff, but man, she goes out and she competes every day, and both of them, you can't talk about more competitive kids. There were days where Tori Freeman, I thought we were going to have to kind of peel her off the ceiling because she's about to go at the other team for any number of things. And she's a kid that, last year we kind of tossed her first baseman and said, hey, play this position you never played before, and we're going to need you to do it at a high level. And, she ran with it, took the opportunity to get to play every day, and she worked her tail off. And, she got to the point where she was a solid first baseman. And, she would finish some really tough plays for us in the infield. So both of them great kids. And, we'll always tell our girls, leave the program better than it was when you found it. And our program is going to be better because those girls came out and worked as hard as they did. So they're leaving big shoes to fill for sure.
Leadership qualities, certainly. Some stat leaders for the softball players.
Yeah, Margaret Blackstar. She probably had our best offensive year this year. She led our team in average, extra base hits, RBIs, on base percentage. She ended up hitting 429.
Wow.
Out of the 3 and 4 hole all year long, and she had 9 triples, 6 doubles. So usually you get a kid that has more triples than doubles. She can move a little bit. So yeah. I look for her to really help us next year. She'll be a senior next year. really kind of anchor our lineup and help us score some runs next year. We talked about Libby Clark in the circle. She led us in majority of our pitching stats. She threw the majority of them. Ended up with 95 strikeouts. I know she was wanting to get to 100 again this year, but fell short by 5. Um, Her and her sister Savannah did a great job in the circle for us. Talk about just throwing strikes and pounding the strike zone. More walks than errors this year. Or sorry, more strikeouts than we had walks this year for our entire pitching staff. So, they did a good job of just being around the zone and making people put the ball in play and letting our defense work. Um, so real quick, do want to say something about Bree Ray. She was our catcher the majority of the year. Kid that come in and played second base for us last year. Graduate Cameron Suggs, and kind of same thing as Tori. Threw her catcher's mitt and said, "Hey, we're gonna need you to do this. Strap this gear on for us." And she ran away with it. Did a great job. Extremely coachable. Was a good leader on the field. She was in a situation where she didn't hit much all year long. We had someone hit for her, and with so many people out during regionals, she had to swing a bat. And her first at bat against Bixby, she goes 0-2. Works the count to, I believe, a full count, and gets a fastball in the outside half and hits a home run. So first home run she's ever hit.
Wow.
So she's doing the kind of the Joe Carter, almost jumping over first base, and I don't think she touched the ground the whole way to home, but it was I think that's the first one she ever got, so that one was pretty cool.
That is nice. Well, the off season here, what happens with Pohai softball in the off season? Do you have a chance to work with your athletes? I mean, is there a break period? What does it look like?
Right now we're checking stuff in, and we go through a period of exit meetings where we sit down with each girl individually and talk to them about the things that they did well this year, what they need to be working on and focusing on in the off season, and kind of where we see them in the future in our program, which that can always change depending on how hard they work. So we're taking this week to do that. We'll take a couple days next week to honestly just not pick up a softball and just relax a little bit. And then towards the end of next week, we'll start doing some conditioning tests and some speed tests, arm strength, things like that. And then after that, we'll get to work. We'll come out. We got an hour every day, and we're gonna get back to basics for a while and work on fundamentals. Something that I think we have to go back and we've got to rep it several times throughout the year, and just to freshen up. And I think next year our big deal is going to be we just got to do the simple things better. Do the simple things better than everybody else. And if we can focus on a lot of the routine things, I think next year we're going to be pretty successful. So a lot of work coming up.
Yeah, the future of Pohai softball looking great. Coach Daniel Wood, thank you for being with me on this edition of Coach's Corner.
All right, Sean, I appreciate you having me.